Hey guys, welcome back to Bearded Lumber. Matthew and I greatly appreciate you tuning in. Got a little motor planer update today. This is real world, it's what's happening, so we decided to film it. A lot of little things we're going to cover today, so hang on and we'll get to it. Okay, we appreciate you tuning back in, guys. Let's kind of go over what we got going on today. Unfortunately, we're not sawmilling. We burned up a motor on our vacuum system. It'll be here in a day or two. We may get a video on replacing that. Things happen, things break. Worked on one tractor, we'll work on the other one. You're always doing maintenance. But today, since we got a little downtime, we're gonna try to finish up what few little items we have left on our motor planer. There's a couple covers here that need to be repaired. We got a couple guide rollers here that haven't been installed because we were waiting on a couple parts and pieces so we can button that up. There's a little roller up front that needs some attention. We're going to modify, improve it. I got a hose reel sitting here. We also got I ordered a DeWalt hose kit. Now my other shop I have PVC hose. It's a good cheap option, but it's cheap. It's a problem. It's always going to be a problem. They leak. Water pipe is not designed to keep air pressure at the level you need air pressure. It will leak eventually or blow apart. So went ahead, bit the bullet, and bought the aluminized aluminum plastic coated airline. So it'll handle our volume of air pressure without any issue. Got some safety things we purchased that we need to get hung up. So we'll just take you along today. It'll be a hodgepodge of different things, but it's real world. It's what Matthew and I are doing today, trying to get all this ready. Our electrician, I actually just called him a minute ago. We're trying to schedule the last of getting our electrical over here. Talked to the Weining Corporation yesterday. All our parts and pieces should be in the end of this week. And we got to run over and pick those up. So we're getting down to the very last part of it. And there's a couple things Matthew and I have been dragging our feet on, so we're going to get them done this morning. Let's pick back up over here. I'll show you a couple little safety things we got. Okay guys, you know we always talk about safety. You only get one chance to be forward thinking on safety. You either plan ahead or wish you had. I don't know if I mentioned it, I was a volunteer fireman for about a decade. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Got into Wood Mizer and my hobby become an addiction, and I just really didn't have time to be pulled apart in two different ways, so we went more doing this, and I had to let the volunteering go away. But I understand fire safety. I've been in all the training courses. I was state, national certified. That's all in my background, and it's in the back of my head. This kind of stuff needs to be planned forward. You know, you need to be ready for that day, not on that day trying to get ready. Things happen, and you know, just like that motor on our vacuum system blew up the other day, and I went outside, had Matthew turn the breaker on, flip the switch, and a big fireball come out of it. Poof, you know. That's one reason it's outside, not inside the building. But bad things can happen. So we were in here the other day, and Matthew noticed that our current fire extinguisher was dead. I have an issue with that. It's a closed system under, you know, hundreds of pounds of PSI. It should last a lot longer than this one did. A couple years, and it's already showing discharge. So I went ahead and ordered a replacement for it, and since we're adding a motor planer, I ordered a bigger fire bottle just to keep out here. We haven't decided where to put it yet. Still kind of in flux, but it will be mounted out there. Yeah, it costs money. Yeah, we all hate spending money, but it's still cheaper than burning the building down. Because trust me, when you need to put the fire out, you couldn't wee enough to put it out. You need something to help you. And we don't have water in this building currently. We will eventually. But the last thing you want to do is put water on a 480 volt electrical fire. That's what an ABC extinguisher is for, is to put out a fire without you getting electrocuted. So enough about fire safety. Just think about it in your meals, guys. I know a lot of you have a shack out back, a shed. I'm sure most of you don't have it attached to your house. You know, it's independent of your house. But even in a little small building, you need a fire extinguisher. If something happens, you can save your mill, you can save your tractor, you can save your shed. You know, so yeah, it's a little bit of money, but money well spent, peace of mind. So that's it on safety. We're gonna get some stuff together, and like I say, we'll try to bring you along today as we work on stuff. We gotta get our man basket and get that line across the ceiling, because unfortunately our air compressor's outside and we need air over here. So these, what is that, 30, 40, about 50 feet difference in where it starts and where it ends. So let's get to it, and we'll try to make some progress today. Okay, you can see it here. It says it is empty. Well, just for good measure, we're gonna see if it really is empty. So we're gonna pull the pin, go outside and exhaust it. Just from our own. Let's see here. It's better than nothing, but it's not what a fire extinguisher should be. Yeah, it was low on air pressure, and like I say, I don't understand why. I have acetylene oxygen bottles over there that set at 2,500 psi for years, and they don't leak down. So why do these leak down? So if it says it's empty, people, replace it. That would be better than nothing, but trust me, those two sitting over there that's fully charged will save you bacon one day. This one wouldn't. Okay, now we got it mounted back. I have used, in the fire service, I have used a lot of extinguishers, small house fires, small car fires. These work better than water. Water is your last resort, you know, a big fire, wood, structure, stuff like that. But for interior house fires, ovens, stoves, this is what you want. I don't know that I ever tried to use one that said it was empty. I learned something today. Yeah, it still give out a little powder, but it didn't do what these would do. This extinguisher is not worth the money to refill. I think they're like $35, something like that, Amazon. Now these are a little more expensive. You're kind of washed whether you replace it or refill it. Now if you go buy the big ones, yes, you can refill it for a fraction of the cost of replacing it. We kept them on the fire truck. ABC extinguishers, as well as the CO2 extinguishers, and you know they're the big ones. You blow that thing off, we'd set them in the corner, and a guy'd come by, and at that time, $50 or less. You know, they'd come back ready to go, new certified stamp. So enough safety. Let's get to work. Thanks, guys. Okay, guys, we're over here on the wall. Our air compressor sits on the outside. Here's actually our flex hose goes out to it, and we need to start our system. We're gonna tie in right here. This is a 3/4 pipe joint. I got hard copper going this way, and then we got a hydraulic flex line going outside. So we need to tie this T in to, one, to get air pressure, and two, transition to the fitting for the aluminized pipe. So I'm very fortunate. Years ago I bought a bunch of stainless steel and just black iron fittings at an auction, and we've dug through that thing over the years, got lots of good fittings out of it. So what we made up is a T that will fit in here, and we'll pick up this bell fitting as well as we'll pick up this one, and then we can transition to our aluminized pipe. So that's the goal. It ain't the prettiest in the world. I'm sure you could probably buy, I don't know if you could buy anything to do it without all these fittings, because you're several different sizes. Now the reason we're doing all this is it come with 4 of these little fittings. This one has a bigger bottom on it, and we need all 4 of them, so we're having to make a accommodation for it. The other ones would screw right into this fitting, but we also need them over there, so we're just going to do it right here. It's got to be done somewhere. It'd be the less obvious spot over here in the corner. So enough talking, let's get it apart, get it all put back together and make it happen. Let's see here. Foot in here. I'm going to hold it here. Good gracious. Put that on there like I didn't ever want it to come apart. And by the way, we did drain the air pressure, so we're not going to get a big oof. So now we need to separate this fitting and this fitting. My least favorite tool, a plumber's special pipe wrench. Not a big fan of them, but hey, sometimes you gotta have them. Now, we should easily transition from that to this, and that's our goal. So,
take all this part off.
Yeah, I was debating whether I wanted to go ahead and put this one on if we'd have enough room or not.
We got that much room.
Yeah, I'd rather have this one tight on there, thank you. So, you're gonna mess with all this pipe stuff, you need pipe dope or pipe tape, either one. We got pipe tape, so that's what we're going to use. Let me clean these threads out. We'll be right back, guys. Okay, we got our threaded nipple in. We'll get it over here where Matthew can do a little work on it. We'll try to hold it with an adjustable. May have to get the pipe wrench here in just a second. Okay, guys, take 2. We put it in the wrong hole. It needs to go here. Anytime you get in a hurry, that end don't need a nipple on it. The top one does. So let's try that all again. We pulled it back apart, re-thread taped it. Now we're going to try to get it snugged up. We'll have to use pipe wrench this time. Maybe. May have to go to the vise for this one. Or a big pair of pliers, I can hold it. Hang on, let's round up another tool. This is always the fun part. It just takes time. Takes time to get everything lined up, working, but if you can keep from filling up your swire jar, it's not the end of the world. It's just work. So, got a pair of channel locks on it now. We'll get Matthew to tighten it back down in the right location. Okay, now we have our 2 nipples on here, and I want to get it threaded on this pipe, so I'm going to put some more tape on here, and we'll be right back. Okay, we got our end thread taped, and we're going to screw this on. Of course, everything's, always right in the way, but the less I can take apart, the less I have to put back together. Okay, now, may not be able to see because I get over here where I can work. The camera operator's going to have to do a little work here. Now, when you're screwing this together, black iron to black iron, I don't know, it's hard to say anything's too tight. But we're screwing in the brass here, so we're going to be careful and let the pipe tape do its work. Now, like I say, I got this adapter and reducer. All this got to get fitted together, and it will go right on top. and that'll be our transition. And then this fitting, we'll go ahead and put it back on the end of the pipe, and this is what hooks our, this is essentially a hydraulic hose. You won't ever bust it with air pressure. So let's get these little pieces put back together, and we'll come back to you in just a minute. Okay guys, we got our little fitting. We had to put thread tape here and here, put our adapter nipple in. So now we can thread it on, tighten it up, and that will give us our transition to the aluminized pipe. Now, a little pro tip for you, if you don't like the look of that, pull this out, stick a piece of cardboard behind it, can of Rust-Oleum black paint. It looked great. I really don't care. It's fine, it's functional, it's doing what we're supposed to. Once we pressurize it, we'll spray it with a little bit of soapy water, make sure we haven't got any leaks, hopefully. So that's gonna do it from here. We got our transition point. Now we got to do the fun part, get our aluminized up the wall, over the ceiling, through the other wall, drop down to our hose reel, then come over, drop down to our molder planer, and then we're going to go all the way over and drop down on the other side of the wall and have an extra terminal block to plug in a hose. So, whew, let's get with it. Okay, Matthew's come around to grab our trash box, take it up here and dump it. So we need to use it as a man basket. I'll let him grab a hold of it, and I'm gonna hook these chains to it so when he dumps it, it don't fall off. Okay, here's something else we need to work on this week. See that pipe laying there? It's supposed to go up here. Now I know you good sawyers out there, you never make no mistakes, you never break nothing. You look behind me, the sawdust pile is gone. I was out here Saturday with the dump truck and the tractor moving it up to my mulch pile. And I was scooped up the load, loading the truck, and my little backhoe will go under it close. And I was backing up, just looking out the back, double checking to make sure I wasn't going to hit it. I forgot I had the bucket up. So what did I do? I hit it. So, you know, knocked it off. So that's another thing we need to get fixed today, put back up there. Things happen, guys. If you don't try, you don't get out and do, you'll never break anything. Learn some hard lessons. But if you're out trying, working hard, you're gonna make mistakes occasionally. As long as they don't cost you a lot of money, nobody gets hurt, it's just a learning experience, you go on with it. Matthew's dumping our man basket because we need to be able to use it to get up here to the ceiling, because if you can see, we just terminated our connection there. It needs to go up the wall. It's going to be right there at that strut in the ceiling, come all the way across, and then we got to go through the wall and come down on the other side of it. So we'll be back when we get set up. Okay, kind of got our plan together now what we're going to do. We've been hashing it back and forth while we was drinking our coffee. I'll tell you up front, this aluminized pipe is not like water pipe. It don't roll out real easily. It takes two people to kind of stretch it out and get it formed. And it will hold a good straight line once you get it, you know, stretched out there. But it's a little cumbersome to deal with. We figured out where we're going to put our hole. Matthew rounded up our hole saws. So our goal is to poke a hole through the wall, stick a foot or so of pipe through there, and then we're going to start attaching it to that metal rib. Come all the way over, come down the wall, and attach it to our entry point. Get all that finalized, we'll jump in the other room, and then we'll try to do all our drops. It's a good 2-person job, especially when you're 13 feet off the ground. Yeah, it's better to have one person that can move the equipment around and pass tools up to the other one so they can stay up there and continue to work. So that's where we're at. Let's get with it. Try to make it happen. Okay guys, we just put you on time lapse while we run that through the other part of the building. It's not unreasonably hard to do, but it is better with 2 people because you can see the coil of pipe. It takes 2 people to kind of get it straightened out. We got it poked through the wall here. I did go cut a piece of 1-inch radiator hose, 1-inch ID, and put on it. And we put it through the wall because there's some sharp metal right there, as well as the wood. Over time, you don't want it sitting there rubbing a hole in it. It's run all the way across. It's plumbed in. That side's ready to run. Now over here, we're getting ready to install a T so we can come down the wall and catch our hose reel. And we'll go up, catch a 90, go over and bend, come right across this EMT cable. Let's see if I can see where you are. Camera. Yeah, we're gonna come right across that EMT cable, and there'll be a T there to drop down to power this machine. Then we'll go over to the wall, 90 down, and have a drop for just an extra air hose over there. Doing it. Airlines is like electrical, it's like plumbing. You're here, you're doing it. Go ahead and add extra. You may never use it that much, but the day you need it, you'll be like, man, I'm glad I put that in. You guys have done your own wiring, plumbing, you know, you understand. You get in the house and you say, man, I wish I'd have put that switch over there, or I wish I'd have put that plug in there. It's cheap while we're here doing it, so we're going to go ahead and add that extra drop. So we're going to put you back on time lapse so we can run through this. It's just work. You can see Matthew has got a tool that he inserted into the pipe, and it's got 2 little cutter heads, and he's rotating around that pipe, and it does 2 things. It chamfers the pipe to accept the fitting real good, and if your cut is not 100% square, it will square up your cut. So that's an important step. It's nice that they send that chamfering tool with you. So I'm gonna shut up, get back up there and help him, and let's get to it. Hey guys, welcome back. I don't remember how much footage we got. It's late in the afternoon. My electrician come by and we spent a couple hours actually on the phone with Weining and one of their electrical engineers. He had some questions about how to wire that. We didn't do any filming, but we're getting close on that. He understands. He got the answers he was looking for pretty much. So let's cover our air system. We tied it in to the compressor side, come through the wall. We teed down to a manifold block here. It has a drain. It's got air in it. And then that comes over to a hose reel. Not required. We put it in for convenience. We will need an air hose over here to blow the thing out. Matthew, come across the ceiling. Come over here to our conduit. And we come down here with a drop. And this was the whole reason for putting this in, to go from here to here. This machine requires 5-6 bar pressure on the hold down air cylinders, and this is where you apply it. So we'll run a flex hose from here to here. It's also got a drain on it. Well, you temporarily have it zip tied to our conduit. We're going to tighten this up at a later date. And then Matthew put a T in, come across the room, and we come down here to another manifold block. And this is what we was talking about earlier. Do we need it? No. If it's here, will we use it? Probably. We probably put us a flex hose hanging on the wall here. Now all this is going to get sheeted eventually, and it'll be attached to the wall. But for now, we just had to get it in. But we can have a hose here if we want to blow the backs of the motors out, backs of the machine. It's just good practice. It's like running plug-ins. You know, always run more than you need because you'll find a use for them. Same thing with airlines. If you'll put it in, more likely you'll find a use for it. We got them in the shop over there, and they're all over the building. Is there one we've never used? No, we've used them all. I mean, it just, if it's there, you'll plug a hose into it and use it one day. So that's it for the air system. We had some little other stuff we wanted to mess with, but the day's gotten away from us. The video's gotten a little long. Like I say, Wayne, our electrician, was here. We spent an hour, at least an hour and 15 minutes on the phone with Weining, electrical service guy. And let me tell you, they're an excellent company. The guy answered questions. He pulled up files. We sent him some photos, sent him some PDFs I had. He sent us some stuff on rewiring, because this machine is currently configured at 230 volts, which is 3-phase, but it's low voltage 3-phase. And we're wanting to wire it to 480 volts, which is 3-phase, but it's the high voltage. So each one of the motors have to be wired, and there's a little difference between a couple of them. And that's what we were dealing with the engineer about, because most of the motors are Delta configuration, but there's one 15 horse motor that's starts on a Y and then switches to Delta. Yeah, it's above my head, but I was listening, paying attention, learning. It kicks off at a little lower voltage, and as the motor ramps up, it switches over to the higher. Yeah, it's above my pay grade. That's why you hire a good electrician. But I think Wayne got most of the answers he needed. The guy said call him back anytime. So hopefully the next few days. We did have our wire delivered. He said spool of wire sitting over in the corner. That's the wire, 3-phase wire to go from the panel all the way through the conduit down into this machine. Wayne got his design together. He's going to be wiring our blowers into a control box over here on top of the panel, and they will be controlled by 2 push button switches on the front. So when we start the machine up, all we have to do is, you know, hit 1, 2, and it'll start the blowers up. We won't have to come over here, flip a switch or nothing. But he's got all that in his head. So we're getting there, guys. I promise. I tell you, I don't mean to be complaining, but it has been a long process, and we are ready to start running customer wood. I had 1 or 2 people today come by. 2. Yeah, I had 2 people today wanting tongue and groove. Not necessarily right this second, but wanting to place an order, kind of planning for the future, and we're ready to be there to help them do that. You know, I've kept telling people we're getting there. It'll be a little while. We're down, I hope, to the last time I have to tell somebody that and say, yep, we can do it. let's get your checkbook out. But that's part of the game, people. I mean, you got to enjoy it. It is expensive, and we are very fortunate, very blessed that it's all paid for. We've worked hard, earned the money, paid for it all. When we flip the switch, if it makes $1 on its first day, it made $1. You know, and anytime you can do that, and I highly suggest if you can do it that way, it's a whole lot better than being indebted on a project, because you know you're hustling. Hey, this thing's got to run. It's got to run. It's got to pay the bills. You know, and everything does need to do that. But you know, I'm too old. I'm a lot older than Matthew, and I don't want to be in debt if I can avoid it. We'll work hard, pay for it. We'll buy it as we can pay for it. If not, we'll just work harder, work faster. So, as far as our hose line kit, I watched the same YouTube videos you'd probably watch if you was buying it. They lie. They lie. It is not as easy as they say. This aluminized pipe is stiff. I mean, it takes some effort to bend it, and it comes in a big coil. Matthew's got what's left of it here. It takes some effort to roll that out straight. Yeah, see how much effort he's putting into this? Yeah. Trust me, I watched the videos. They didn't show that it was that difficult. It's manageable. It is definitely a two-man job. Like most anything, two people makes it go better. But you can do it. It's not going to lay up there like PVC. If you look real close, you can see it. You know, it waves and moves a little bit, but I've done PVC and never had good luck with it. It always leaks. It'll blow out eventually. This stuff is supposed to be rated for a lot higher PSI than we're ever going to run. I think that little compressor we run like 125 PSI, because we don't need it. We just use shop air to blow ourselves off, blow the machinery off. Now this machine, it needs to keep, I think, around 30 PSI on the down feed rollers. And it's kind of a constant pressure, like a shock absorber. It's not going to lose air unless you move it. So it really don't need a lot of volume of air. There's no need to overpressurize the system with 200 PSI. It's just wasted. So, got any questions, comments about that? Drop them in the comment section below. We do have some little fine tuning we want to do on the machine. We'll try to video it. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see how tomorrow goes. Today got away from us, but this little things we need to get finished up so that when the power's on, you know, our part's done. We're close. We're close. And it makes me sleep better at night. Guys, we greatly appreciate you watching. Thanks for going along on the journey with us. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you're learning something. Like I say, if you got any questions, ask them. I'll try to answer them. That's going to do it for today. As always, we appreciate Solomon. Y'all need to check out his channel. He's probably going to have a video working on his truck. He had a bad week this week. Blew the radiator in his truck, and fan went out, and he spent a day working on it. Sent a picture of him just filthy, and I guess he was looking for sympathy. And I had an old fire chief. I can tell you where to find sympathy. You look at this dictionary, and it's between S, poop, and syphilis. That's where you'll find sympathy. I wrote him a note back. I said, well, at least you know more now than you did then. I'm one of those people. You learn through trial and adventure, and he learned working on his truck. So get a chance, check out Solomon at Third Beard Fishing. You'll get a hoot out of that one. That's going to do it, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you back at the mill.
Thank you for watching. Here's a video selection and a playlist suggestion. Click here to subscribe for more great content. We'll see you at the mill.